Hello there. Last time we had the best arc yet, and slight spoiler warning, it will also be among my favorite arcs, even after I have finished the Clone Wars. Now, let's start quickly. Obviously, a spoiler warning until the end of season 4 of the Clone Wars, and if you want to know what my watch order was, look in the description. There's a link to the chronological order of the Clone Wars and the episodes you saw and see on screen since this video started are the ones I will cover today. Now let's start with some standalone episodes. These will also be this will also be the last time I will talk about the standalone episode because it's the last season that has some standalone episodes and actually even probably the season with the most yet. Now we first have episode 4 of the season, which includes a great fight between the Gungans and Grievous, which really showed a different side from the Gungans, and I am glad they showed this. The episode after that features some nice new species, and it really shows why R2 is way cooler and way more interesting than 3PO. The episode after that has some fun little adventures and homages. For example, Gulliver travels Fern Gully or David versus Goliath, as well as The Wizard of Oz. And I love how annoyed Wolf is with C-3PO and his stories because, honestly, I'm too. And this actually is one of the funniest episodes in Clone Wars until now. Then we're skipping a few episodes. Episode 14 is the episode where Lux and Ahsoka are kissing, which, well, I actually already expected that after the last arc where Lux was introduced. Yeah, it's really coming from a mile away. Uh, it's funny how R2 raises an army, and I really hope he does that again. We have an awesome quadruple kill from Ahsoka, which, wow, really shows how far she's come. We also have a Death Watch, finally, and I was waiting for them because I already knew about them from the Mandalorian show and the coverage around that. Episode 19 shows the death of the Night Sisters. Sadly, they were really interesting characters and they are now gone. Ironically, Grievous actually freed the male Sabrak from slavery, and it's gonna be interesting where Asajj will go from here. And the episode after that shows us how Boba is finally back, and this really provided much needed Ventus focus. Now you're probably gonna say, these are not really standalone episodes. Yes, that's because the end, this season started to really interconnect things, and it got more difficult to really differentiate between arcs and standalone episodes. Which is why starting next season I actually started looking up the arcs. Now, let's start with the first arc, which is the Mon Calamari arc. We actually have Admiral Akbar, or at this time he was still Captain Akbar, I think was it. This arc has some really great new assets and showed the jump they made between the third and the fourth season. The shark villain was really cool in design as well as in fighting prowess. And we have Kid Fisto focus, which is great because I want more focus on lesser known Jedi in movies. For example, Kid Fisto, Plo Koon, or also Quinlan Voss. They are actually mostly the most fun Jedi to watch. This arc has some really cool underwater design for clones, and it actually shows a great. It actually is a great showcase of the greatness of the Gungan army, uh, which, yeah, nice to see. And just tell me, when are we finally getting a Star Wars animation movie again? It would be awesome. Especially now that I already know what it's going to look like in season 7 and in the Bad Batch, it really would look amazing. Now Jar Jar saves the day, but Doom, basically entire empire, uh, the, the entire republic, with his moves yet again. What a surprise! And I was surprised that they actually showed the floating severed head of a villain. Really graphic, and it shows that this show does something that many shows sometimes forget. The audience is growing up with this series, so why not play with that expectation? Looking at you, Pokemon. But let's go to the next arc, which is the Umbara arc. And yeah, here I have a thought written down that I started at the that I wrote down at the beginning of the arc, which was Quell feels like someone that would be an actual general in a real life army. And yeah, this arc felt more like an actual war, not like a Star War. We finally get more Rex, and I have really been wanting and craving it. And I gotta say, I really start praising D. Bradley Baker again. He's amazing, an amazing voice actor, and I'm really excited to have him for a while yet. Well, also shows why Jedi are technically not really the good guys. He embodies everything the Jedi want, but is just a terrible humanoid being. I mean, yeah, he turns it up a notch. He's really extremist in his views, but it's not really that different from what the Jedi want, and it's troubling. Hardcase has an awesome sacrifice scene, and we also got to salute our boy Waxer, which we already had since season 2 with the new episode, or was that season? I think that was season 2. Sad to see him go that way. You know, all the flag I give, well, he actually looked really badass and great when fighting, and Buddy is finally dead, and yeah, deservedly so, which only probably simplifies things in the future. The next arc is the Zygeria arc, and I gotta say, I'm not sure why, but in some shots, Obi-Wan looked really weird in this arc. Maybe you can tell me why that is, I'm not sure. And I'm actually, again, really sad for that one droid that got the bomb, and he's like, "How could you, sir?" I love the humor Clone Wars provides with their droids. And I gotta say, Anakin came a long way in forms of flirting from "I hate sand." I mean, have you tried it in real life, just telling a person of interest to you, "I hate sand," and it worked? Probably not. If it worked, good for you. You're a mad lad or lass. Now this arc is really dark. It talks about suicide, torture, slavery, and another showcase of how Clone Wars is not afraid to grow and mature with its audience. And we also have more spotlight on Obi-Wan this entire season, which is really great, and it is actually, I think, the last time we get a really Obi-Wan big focus. But also the next arc has the big Obi-Wan focus, and I'm sorry for that picture, but I gotta take that picture for this arc. It's the Obi-Wan infiltration arc. It's a really interesting premise for an arc, and We also got back Cad Bane, hell yeah. But as you already can tell on the screen, Obi-Wan without hair looks cursed as fuck. Ugh, it's it's really awful. And this arc is really driving home the subtle changes that are occurring and have occurred in Anakin. And yeah, we all know where it's gonna end. Master Skywalker. Uh, this arc has some nice action set pieces and also the return of a one, the only Ambo. The honestly the most badass bounty hunter who came from the Samurai 7 inspired episode. And it's also funny how Obi-Wan is actually the best sniper of them, obviously thanks to the Force, but he is actually so uncivilized. But let's talk about the best arc this season. It's the Maul comeback arc. Because Maul is back, baby. Finally, I've been waiting and craving it from the beginning of my Clone Wars watch through. And it's finally here. And the voice work from Sam Witwer is amazing and wow. But it's also kind of sad we don't have Maul's spider legs really long because it was a really terrifying and great design, as you can see on screen. And I think they could have stayed with it a little longer. We also had Obi-Wan with the red lightsaber, which looked kind of good and kind of weird, but also interesting and good. And I don't know what to think of it. Do I want Obi-Wan to turn to the dark side? Not gonna happen, but would be an interesting premise for a what if like show or film. What if Obi-Wan turned to the dark side? And not Anakin. That would actually be a really interesting concept. Make it happen, Disney. Thank you. Now, this arc provides an interesting way to end the season, and I really hope they pick up at the start of season 5. But we'll see. I mean, I already saw it, but we'll see. Now, to come to a conclusion, first of all, you can see now on screen the episode we are going to cover next video, which is basically just season 5 with everything from episode 2 to episode 20. Now this season 4 is a great part of the Clone Wars, and I like parts or sections of the last video, overall more Mortis arc, but this entire part, the entire season, was easily the best complete season as a whole yet. Because finally all the gears I was waiting for are finally clicking. And we had some nice focuses on like Ventress and Ahsoka. The original structure of the show, which was more episodic, is finally starting to break up at the end, and finally I don't have to skip between seasons and episodes anymore as much as before. And we see at the end where different arcs and standalone episodes, or are they standalone? It starts to overlap and interconnect more, which is nice. And I feel like it is going to be a smooth ride from here until the end of the show, and spoiler, it was. As of recording this, I have actually already finished Clone Wars, I finished the Bad Batch, and I'm also almost through with Rebels, so yeah. But next time is the 5th part, which, is basically the 5th season. I'm really excited for it, and it will come out on Friday, so may the force be with you. Bye.